Why are you here? Is it money? Scholastic Choices reports that college students earn an average of $23,000 more per year than non-graduates. Is it to prove something? Is it to discover what you're passionate about? Regardless, you must believe that whatever it is you're getting from this higher education is worth it. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. We're here because we're bettering ourselves. We're here because we're here to acquire something that we didn't have before. Yet we bitch and moan about teachers who won't give us free points on tests. We bitch and moan about teachers we're here to be challenged, but we bitch and moan about teachers who refuse to compromise their high standards for us. Why do we praise the easy A class? We recommend Mr. Brown or Miss Yellow to all our friends because, oh my God, this class is so easy. Now, the current grading policies at CU, where in theory every student can get an A, it encourages us to cheat ourselves, to believe that we deserve maximum credit for minimal work. If we really want to better ourselves, all colleges and universities should adopt a bell curve grading system, where in each class 40% of students receive a C grade, 30% receive below a C, and 30% above a C. In this speech, I'll show you what a true bell curve grading system is. I'll show you why the bell curve would increase the value of an undergraduate degree, and how it will help us discover our true potential. Now, a bell curve, in my survey, most of you, every single one of you at least partially agree that a bell curve is a good system of grading, but almost all of you said that you think that, in theory, every student should be able to get an A. Now, this doesn't work together. If you look up bell curve grading on Wikipedia, you'll see that bell curve grading is a method of assigning grades according to a frequency distribution along the normal or bell curve. On this curve, the mean score is adjusted so that it falls directly below the center of the line. Typically, the score becomes a C. The rest of the grades are distributed along the remaining sections of the curve. Now, in a bell curve, the frequency that each grade occurs at is predetermined. So, for example, let's look at the curve that I advocate. 40% of students will get a C, 20% will get a B, 20 will get a D, 10 will get an A, and the remaining 10% of the class will fail. Now, if 15 applicants apply for a job, where there's 10 positions, 5 are not going to get the job. Even if all 15 are more than qualified, it's inevitable that 1 will be most qualified and 1 will be least qualified. The rest of the applicants are going to fall somewhere in between. Bell curve grading, or grading on the bell curve, it prevents individual grade inflation, and it most closely reflects real life. I expect that many of you think it's unfair to automatically fail 10% of the class if those people are doing adequate work, but let me show you how this kind of thinking devalues the undergraduate degree. How many of us honestly think that we can effectively market ourselves without a college degree? No. I mean, something that used to be a celebrated accomplishment, today it's considered pretty standard, even expected. The U.S. Census Bureau estimates that about 25% of the United States, 300 million people, have bachelor's degrees. Another source estimates that there are about 100 million people worldwide currently seeking higher education. Now, I think it's great that so many people are seeking higher education, but the problem is that they're not doing it because they have an honest desire to learn. They're doing it because they know that a college degree these days is just a basic requirement. So much so that the LA Times has found that for the first time in 30 years, earnings for people with four-year degrees are actually dropping. If colleges implement this bell curve grading system, a diploma will become more than just an expensive piece of paper. If 10% of every class has to fail, once again, a degree will mean something. Now, grading on a bell curve will not only bring back value to an undergraduate degree at the macro level, but it will also benefit the individual student. As students, our educational system currently robs us of our potential. In pretty much every class I have at CU, I get a grading rubric, kind of like this one. I won't tell you what class it's for, but you can see, in order to get an above average grade, I have to fulfill the functions of the speech framework, use facts, details, narratives, use transitions, etc. So I go down the list, checking off the boxes, and I take my above average grade. What happens if everyone just goes down the list and can check off the same boxes? Do I still deserve an above average grade? Of course not. The system is inherently flawed. It shows us just what we need to do to get the grade that we want, and so we can do the minimal amount of work and just take our grade. How would we take on assignments differently if we knew that it would be graded on a bell curve? Would you shoot for that 40% range, or would you work as hard as you could to outperform your peers? If you got a D, it would mean that you either didn't work hard enough, or that this isn't really your subject, and maybe you should try something else. Either way, you're getting the grade you deserve. By the time we graduate, many of us will have spent close to 20 years and hundreds of thousands of dollars on our diploma. Wouldn't it be nice to know as you walk down that stage, get your degree, that you learned what you're truly capable of? To put it bluntly, some people are smarter, stronger, faster, or just more capable than other people. That's why our country, the most powerful nation this world has ever seen, is a meritocracy. Nobody is going to hand you the American dream. You've got to work hard for it. And sure, natural ability doesn't hurt. Not only does grading on a bell curve accurately reflect the fact that some people will always do better than others, it will restore the value of a degree and help us to discover our true potential. Thank you.